All right, these are the notes and vocabulary for mean, median, and mode. This will be recorded so you can watch it again later if you need to, if it goes too fast. First of all, very important, you may use a calculator. So that's great, okay? Mean is the average of a set of data. To find it, you do the sum. So that means you add up all the data. Sum of the data. And then divide by the number of items in the data set. You use the mean to describe the data when all the numbers are close together. So as I write my notes, you should be writing your notes too. If you were able to print out the worksheet, great, write it on there. If not, just write it on your own piece of paper. This will help you when you do the practice problems. Median is the middle number in a set of data. It is the middle number in the set of data when the data is arranged in numerical order. I like to do at least to greatest, but if you want, you could do greatest to least. If the data set has an even amount of numbers, then the median is the mean of the two middle numbers. So find mean if there are two numbers in the middle. We use the mean to describe the data when there is an outlier. So an outlier would be a number that is way different than the others. So use median to describe when there is an outlier. So again, outlier is a number that is way different. It lies outside of the other numbers, okay? Mode is the numbers that appear the most often in a set of data. So it can be one number for the mode, or it can be, there can be more than one mode. So the number or numbers that appear most often in a set of data. There can be one mode, more than one mode, or no mode. Use the mode to describe the data when one number repeats a lot. All right. So we have mean, which is the average, median, which is the middle, when the numbers are in numerical order, and then mode, the number that repeats most often. Next, we have the range, and the range is the difference between the greatest and least numbers in a set of data. Remember, difference means to subtract. Okay, so range is biggest number minus the smallest number, and that equals the range. Okay. Use the range to describe when you're asked to find when you're asked for the difference. All right, balance point. The point on a number line where the data distribution is balanced. And the mean and the balance point are the same thing. Okay, we're going to do one example of finding mean, median, mode, and range, and then we'll find do one example of balance point. So for the mean, what we want to do is we want to take this data set, okay, and first thing we're going to do is add all the data. So I'm going to do 5 plus 7 plus 5 plus 4 plus 10 plus 9 plus 9 plus 8 plus 3 plus 5. And this is where the calculator comes in really handy. So I'm going to add up all my data points, and I'm going to divide using the fraction bar to divide by the total number of pieces of data. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of data. When I add up all my data points, I get 65. So I'm going to take 65, the sum of the data, and divide it by the 10 pieces of data. So that gives me 6.5 as my mean. And I did use my calculator to do that. All right, for the median, I need to put them in order. So I'm going to do least to greatest. And the orders from least to greatest are 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 7, 8, 9, 9, and 10. And then I'm just going to check them off, starting from the outside and working the way in. So check off. I'm going to check them off until I find the middle. And in this case, I have 2 numbers in the middle because I had 10 pieces of data, so an even set of data. So to find the median, when there's 2 numbers in the middle, I'm going to find the sum of those 2 numbers, so 5 plus 7, and I'm going to divide by 2 because there's 2 numbers. So I'm finding the mean of the middle. 5 plus 7 is 12. Divide by my 2 numbers, and that gives me 6 for my median. All right, then we're going to find mode. Mode is the number that you see the most. So the number that I see the most is 5. So 5 is my mode. And then for my range, I'm going to take the biggest number, which is 10. And I'm going to subtract the smallest number, which is 3. So biggest number minus smallest number will give me range, which is 7. So 7 is my range. All right, so that's a vocab and examples of mean, median, mode, and range. Now let's look at one balance point, which, here we go. And balance point is simply the mean of the data points on the number line. So here I have an x over 1. That means that x equals 1. And then I've got 3 x's over 2. So that means each x is a 2. I've got a 5 and I've got a 6. So my data set for this number line to find the balance point is 1, 2, 2, 2, 5, and 6. So to find the balance point, I'm going to find the mean. So to do that, I add up or find the sum of all my data. So 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 6. And then I'm going to divide by the total number of pieces of data. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of data. The sum of all my data is 18 divided by the 6 pieces of data. So 18 divided by 6 gives me 3. And that means that the balance point is 3. All right, so after this video, you guys are going to do the student practice worksheet, which looks like this. So you guys are going to do this, and I'll be live so I can answer your questions and help you with any of this that you need. And you're also going to do the now try balance point.